Hello, I'm Elton Robinson with your December 9th grain and oilseed update. With U.S. crops mostly harvested, let's move to South America and check on the progress of soybean crops in Brazil and Argentina. According to Corn and Soybean Advisor, the 2016-2017 Brazilian soybean crop is approximately 90% planted compared to 88% last year and an 85% average. The last major state where there are soybeans left to plant is Rio Grande do Sul, where planting is approximately 75% complete. There was somewhat of a reversal in the weather last week in Brazil, according to the advisor's report. The weather in central and northeastern Brazil turned drier after being quite wet during the previous several weeks, while the weather in southern Brazil turned wetter after being drier the previous several weeks. In the end, these patterns probably offset each other, and it was generally a good week of weather in Brazil last week. Meanwhile, farmers in Argentina have had 2 good weeks of soybean planting. They planted 12% of their soybeans last week, and the 2016-17 Argentine soybean crop is now 46% planted, according to the Buenos Aires Grain Exchange. This compares to 55% last year and a 54% average. And now for USDA's latest export report. This summary is based on reports from exporters for the period ending December 1st. Wheat exports of 550,000 metric tons were up noticeably from the previous week and 59% from the prior 4-week average. The primary destinations were Morocco, Japan, China, the Philippines, and Chile. Corn exports of 1.366 million metric tons were up 69% from the previous week and 94% from the prior 4-week average. The primary destinations were Japan, Mexico, Taiwan, Saudi Arabia, and Peru. Grain sorghum exports of 233,000 metric tons was a marketing year high, up significantly from the previous week and from the prior 4-week average. China took a little over 210,000 metric tons, Mexico took 22,000 metric tons, and Nigeria 700 metric tons. Rice exports of 55,000 metric tons were down 10% from the previous week and up 3% from the prior 4-week average. The primary destinations were Japan, El Salvador, Guatemala, Jordan, and Saudi Arabia. Soybean exports of 1.9 million metric tons were down 19% from the previous week and 31% from the prior 4-week average. The primary destinations were China, Japan, the Netherlands, Vietnam, and Mexico. Soybean meal exports of 201,000 metric tons were up 40% from the previous week and 2% from the prior 4-week average, while soybean oil exports of 28,600 metric tons were up noticeably from the previous week and 40% from the prior 4-week average. Beef exports of 16,400 metric tons were up 9% from the previous week and 4% from the prior 4-week average, with South Korea, Japan, Hong Kong, and Mexico as primary destinations. Pork exports of 24,400 metric tons was a marketing year high, up 8% from the previous week. The primary destinations were Mexico, Japan, South Korea, Canada, and Hong Kong. Well, that's it for this week's report. I'm Elton Robinson. See you next time.